So I'll give you kind of a little overview of what we do, what I do, how I got here. I'll show you a couple of videos that we have online. Channel 6 has been here, Channel 10, just documenting some of the things we do. We'll give you an overview, and then I'll give you a tour of the location, and then we'll go down and I'll show you one of the example computer labs that we have at the university and what we use it for. It's really cool stuff.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Mr. Andrew Corn, good morning to you.
All right, so the short of it is we're the computer recycling center. That's my job. I run a little department that handles all the electronics at the university. What does that mean? So Temple has a lot of computers on campus. Everything's technology based. Anything you learn, anything you do, anything you process, it's all information based. We collect a ton of information from students. When we apply here, we get all electronic information. We know everything about who you are, what your financial background is, who your family is, what the school records are. Like everything comes and stored on servers, and that needs to be managed. And that's proprietary information, personal information. There's always rules and regulations that says what we can and can't do with it. You know, we don't want somebody stealing your identity, taking credit cards out of your name, taking phones out of your name, ruining your credit, or whatever else they can do. Makes life really difficult. So we are the Computer Recycling Center. We've won awards for different things, but we handle all electronics at the university, anything that plugs in. And when I say for Temple University, we have campuses in Harrisburg, PA, Ambler, PA, Fort Washington, PA, Center City. We have 2 campuses. We have the Tuck campus, Temple University by City Hall, and then also the Dietary campus. And then about 2 miles north of here, we have the Health Science campus. We have some other areas, Jeans Hospital, all over the place. So we collect all the electronics for all those areas. Temple has nearly 40,000 students. That's how big we are. That puts us probably around 10,000 employees, about 50,000 people. Our budgets go in the upwards numbers of like $2 billion between the hospital and the university. We're a big entity. We have a lot of money that comes through here. Some state money, a lot of student tuition, a lot of loans. We are a city unto ourselves. We are our own little city. For not being a major city, we have one of the largest police forces in the state, like full-blown police with full jurisdiction. Just gives you an idea of kind of how big this place is. If we were a little town in Pennsylvania, we're bigger than most towns or cities and places around PA. We just happen to be in Philadelphia, North Philadelphia, all the way through. So we handle all the removal equipment, so we collect all that stuff. And we also handle all the information destruction. So if they don't want the information anymore on there, we have to figure out how to get rid of that so nobody can get to that information. So we do a lot of research on that. And then we have a whole refurbishment model. So we take the computers and refurbish them and fix them and figure out different channels of how to reuse that equipment as best as possible. A couple different ways we reuse it. So one is we offer back to campus departments. Money is spent by the university. We want to keep the money within the university as much as possible, get as much use out of it. And so they purchase certain items to keep on campus. We get a lot of grant funded departments or startup departments that don't have a lot of money, and they buy that stuff. Second is we try to get the resources into our students, faculty, and staff. So many of our employees at the university live within the community. Housekeeping staff, police force, they all live within North Philadelphia or within a mile of campus. So they need access to technology. So they can buy a computer office for about $100, take it home, use it, it's theirs. They now have access to the internet. Once you get on their Wi-Fi or Comcast, computer cell, whatever it may be. Students come to campus, they spend all this money on tuition, can't afford a computer, they buy computers from us. They use them for experiments, they use them for basic homework, they use them for gaming, they do all kinds of different things with them. And you have to think of the broad range of technology we have. We're going to have everything from overhead projectors to LCD projectors to DVD players, Blu-ray, computers, monitors, you name it, any kind of technology that uses anything that you can think of or not think of, it comes through here at some capacity. By volume, any given day, we think we have between 10 and 12,000 computers on campus at any given time. And that's just university-owned equipment. It's not equipment brought in by students, laptops, and things like that. It's just university-owned equipment. That's quite a bit of equipment to maintain. We have a large computer services department that maintains that. We have big site licenses to do all the software. Big security department who is securing all that. A big network. It's a broad range of things that we cover to keep it up and running. We run everything from email to course hardware and software. Books are online now. It's pretty amazing how far technology has come. Every year, the university buys new equipment. We have a buying cycle of 3 to 4 years. So typically, things are turned over in about 4 years. We call this, it's a purging. Basically, you want to be able to refresh your equipment every 4 years. We do this because technology changes extremely fast. There's this thing called Moore's Law that exists in the world. Moore's Law, basically, it's this guy who worked for Intel. Anybody ever hear of Intel before? When I say Intel, what's Intel?
It's the company that produces processors.
Processors, right? So if you ever look at a computer, it's going to say Intel inside. Intel is a processor that basically, it's like sort of like the brain of the computer. It tells it to do things, just like you tell your hands and your body to do things. That's what a processor does. And processors 30 years ago were very powerful. They can only do so many things. Well, over time, they've gotten faster and faster and faster. They've gotten smaller, smaller, and smaller. And they've gotten cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. It's pretty amazing. So, to give you kind of an example, Dr. Moore worked for Intel. He was a scientist in like the 60s. He came up with this concept, this idea. He said, I'm going to predict into the future. Basically, you take a circuit board and it does so many transactions, and you take a processor that does so many things. We can double the speed of it within 18 to 24 months. When we double that speed, we can cut its footprint in half, so we can fold it in half, and it's going to be double the speed, and then it's going to be half the price. Okay, these three things he talked about. He talked about price, he talked about space it would take up, and the speed. We predicted that in the 60s, and I thought he was nuts. They're like, you're crazy, there's no way, it's impossible. What's gone faster than we predicted to this day. And it's to the point where things are so small and so tiny and so compact that they can't go any smaller with basic visual things. We're talking nanotechnology now, virtual atom level to make things go faster.
And all the other related industries have to catch up.
Yeah, so it's basically things are moving along at their own pace, and it's like you're waiting for things to converge. So like we didn't have fiber optics to move information across the network until the mid-90s, and we started running fiber optics everywhere. So we had these like bottlenecks everywhere. So they were ready to process things fast, but they couldn't get it through the internet fast enough. There's all these other different bottlenecks along the road. So it could be something storing it, like a hard drive. It could only get the information off the hard drive so fast. They call them bus speeds and things like that. So all these things are moving at different speeds and different levels of discovery. But basically, what's held true is this processor. You run into an issue because it's using electricity and basically a lot of heat within these things. You need like a little air conditioner on top of it. It's like, how do you do something that moves really fast and does a lot of transactions really fast, but doesn't burn a hole in your pocket? Right? Because that processor is in this phone. And that's what allows you to have a phone that's basically a computer. It's small because of this Intel processor that moves really fast. So like this phone, we've sent people to the moon, right? We're talking in the 1960s. It's a long time ago. It's 50, 60 years ago. And that was a big milestone for the human race, for anybody essentially to move someone out of there and back. They did it with a computer that was a fraction of as powerful as this. All it knew was like ballistics. It said basically, you shoot this thing up in the air, gravity's going to pull it back down, right? And then they just kept doing these trajectories. Basically, how did you do that? So like a person had the faith enough to get in a little capsule, and they were going to shoot them up there on a rocket. They basically figured as far as you could throw something, they're going to shoot them out of the atmosphere, sling them around the moon, and then come back. And then next time they're going to sling them around the moon, land on the moon, get off the moon, and come back. With a computer that wasn't even as close as powerful as this thing. But that computer was like as big as this room. It's enormous, as big as this thing. A fraction of the power.
They were mainframes?
Mainframes, yeah. I mean, they're basically, some of the first computers were built at the University of Penn, in this time frame. The scientists were trying to figure all this stuff out. So what happens over time is technology just gets smaller and smaller and smaller and faster and faster and faster. So then you have an iPhone in here? Right?
Yes.
Which iPhone do you have? 5C. Have you had an iPhone before that? No? Anybody else have an iPhone?
Yes, I do.
You do? What do you have? 5C. Did you have one before that? What did you have before that? The 4. Okay. So they came up with this thing, the iPad, a few years ago. bigger version of the phone, maybe too big to stick in your pocket. What's that? You got an iPad? So like within, an iPad came out, very popular, people waited in line for it. Within a year, they had the iPad 2. Within 12 months, they were able to make it faster, better, more technology in it. The phones, they're coming out like every 12 months now because technology is moving so fast and they're doing things faster and quicker. And I had one of the bigger ones at the 6. This thing's pretty crazy. When you first look at it compared to the 4, it's like this thing's a monstrosity.
Yeah.
But now it's kind of like standard size almost. And they make them cheaper. These 5Cs, they're basically with plastic cases. And you get them basically for free just for paying for your service, right? So you're not even paying $400 for the phone. That's the way our country works, is basically you pay for the service, you get the phone for free. You're able to do that to make them cheaper and cheaper. That phone 6 years ago was $500. How's it free now? It's basically they can produce so many of them and get you to use the data plans and they can figure this thing out. So that puts pressure on us to move technology faster because students come in, they pay top dollar for tuition. We're a cutting edge university, we use a lot of technology, they're using technology every day. They don't want a slow computer. They don't want something that's going to be bogged down, that needs more memory, or it needs faster connection, or it needs a brighter, bigger screen, whatever it is. So it's like as things are moving, we need to move things out and find a new home for them. But what we learned is, for as fast as these things go and they get better and better technology, for basic internet service, for doing homework, for doing things that we do every day, like pay our bills, check our stuff online, check our grades, you don't need a supercomputer to do that. A 4-year-old computer is completely fine with enough RAM in it that's cleaned up and ready to go. So what we decided was, as we were bringing this technology in, and it might not be good for the engineering department to do the next big experiment, what can we do with it? So we fix them, we clean them, we put an operating system on them, we find homes for them. And a good example is what we did for your location up in 12th Cambria, was take 4-year-old computers that came out of a computer lab, which is downstairs, and we'll take a walk through that. It's 700 computers in one location that's open 24/7 during the semester. Students are in the computer lab at 3 a.m. Starbucks is open 24/7. You get your coffee, you go up there, you get your mocha latte, latte, whatever it is, and they're in the lab till 2 in the morning. You're like, people were sleeping at 2 in the morning now in college. People are in the computer lab at 2 in the morning doing work groups, doing homework. They might be sleeping during the day, but they're up all night.
That's a good story, Jonathan.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
And everybody wants their own laptop, but when it comes down to it, to have all this technology and have all this software, you need a central place to put it. That's what they decided, downstairs in this building. So that puts a lot of pressure on us. So we have to move more and more equipment every year. As we buy more equipment, there's more equipment coming out of service.
It's phenomenal.
It's
I'm just blown out the water.
Yeah. You have to imagine what 12,000 computers looks like. So we move between 3,000 and 4,000 a year. We're collecting 3,000 and 4,000 computers a year in this small location. And we're big compared to other operations. Most universities don't run an operation like this internally. They outsource everything. They pay a company to take care of this. We took a different approach. We brought it in-house. We trained students how to do it. We made enough money selling the computers at nominal cost to students, faculty, and staff to hire a couple full-time people. And we have the 12 to 15 students from a broad range of majors, art majors, history majors, some are electrical engineering, some are business majors, learning technology hands-on, picking it up, moving it, learning the chords, learning the software, learning the hardware. So as they're getting their education in their field, they're learning technology parallel to it. And people pay for this type of education.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting paid to do it. Right. They're getting paid $9, $10 an hour to basically do this. So they're chipping in, they're doing the work we need to get done, but they're learning it without even thinking about it. It's just part of their life.
Mm-hmm.
They come here, they do the things, they learn all the connectors, they learn about the software and hardware. And meanwhile, they're studying history or studying business. And they're going to go into their field, and they're going to be the business person in that field, but they're going to have a leg up on everybody else because they learned about technology. And if something's not working, not functioning right, they don't need to wait for the technology person. They can fix it on their own, or they could be the lead person. I have a student who became a state trooper. He was a criminal justice major. He's like the lead tech guy, within his barrack, and not because he has formal training. He just has 5 years of working here and being around it. He's comfortable with it.
Mm-hmm.
Film major, same way. A couple people work for Comcast. They make more money than I do working at Comcast, working in server fields, working in advertising because they're around technology. So it's been pretty interesting to basically bring this in-house and create this resource for people. We do internships through the Russell Commonwealth Centers. They have high school students ready to come to college. The Russell Commonwealth Center in the summer. We have an Adult Learning Academy, which is an alternative track for students who may have disabilities, mental or physical, who really may not get into a full year of college. They give them a 2-year college experience. Their senior year, which is their 4th semester, they come and they have an internship with us, and they're around technology, and I do 1 to 2 students every spring on that. So we really try to be a resource for people in the community as much as we can, getting our job done and also providing these extra resources. As far as computer labs, like I've been in Penrose Playground, we have a lab in there. We do Norris Homes over here. If anybody's familiar with Duckery or Dunbar, all those schools. Let me see. Craft, not Craft, can't think of the other school. It's up there. We did a Mac lab, one of the labs up north of here. So we're in the schools, we're in the different nonprofits, we're in the different churches, doing as much as we can to get technology out there. It's a pretty unique story how this happens, because it's been about 10 years or so we've been doing the donation parts. And it's pretty cool because then you get to experience it. So all of you now have been in the lab, you've been getting trained, eventually getting paid to do this, to look over the lab. And you're just there, and it's part of your summer thing, but like, you don't realize how much you're absorbing just by being around and being comfortable with technology. People are afraid of technology. My parents didn't grow up with technology. My dad is afraid to break it. Afraid. He's afraid to type something, and he even may know how to do it, and I teach him Excel, but he's afraid if he moves it, he's going to lose it. Like he's afraid to make a mistake. You're not afraid to break it. You're not afraid to make a mistake. You go down the wrong path, all right, I'll close it, I'll open it back up, I'll start over, I'll do it again. You don't understand, that's like the playful mind that we lose as we get older. We don't want to experiment as much, typically. And so if you can train yourself to do that as a child when you're young, and you still have that energy to not make mistakes and not care about it, it's a really good troubleshooting tool to like hone in yourself. Is to keep hacking away at things. Hack away, like learn what's working, what's not working, and why isn't it working. It's pretty amazing. That will take you a long way. Many of the kids that go like the Norris Homes here, and we have the lab, their goal is to go to Microsoft High over in Fairmount Park. Like that was like kind of their dream school to get into. It's tough to get into. And it's like they get interviewed for it, and it's a lottery system and all these different things. But like, few of them had no technology experience. And I'm like, you're gonna go and you're gonna compete with kids that are around this stuff. It's the whole city sends kids to the school. And it's like, you're going to get there and it's going to be a terrible experience for you because, you're not familiar with it, you're not comfortable with it. So we gave them a computer to play with, kind of hack away at it. We used to take it apart, put it back together. It's been pretty cool. So I'll show you a video or two right now of like what we've done, and you can see some of the interviews. You can ask me any questions you have. We'll walk through, I'll tell you what we do here, and I'll give you an idea from other spots.
I want to say to you that part of the recycling here, for one, I'm blown out the water. I had an idea of how busy you were and the magnitude of your job. I had a good idea, but when you come in person, that's why I wanted them to come here, to see for a person who's leading an operation of this magnitude to come to 12th and Cambria, to put us in a schedule, to put the community out front, to make certain we straight. That's extraordinary. I think it's one of the best things that happened to the neighborhood, and it's moving. So
we can't do it without people. I mean, I can provide hardware, but like the people connection, the stuff that you're doing, getting the city to show up is tough, and you're able to bring that, bring the resources from the Parks Division, and you get them to build the lab. Like I go in these locations all the time, and like the connections you've made and the way you've motivated people to do things is pretty impressive, because it's like if I could take that and bottle it up and bring it to the other locations, that makes our job so much easier, because I can bring the technology and I can lead the technology there. But if there's not somebody there to take care of it and to basically nurture it.
Yes, sir.
I go back in 6 months and I'm the enemy number one. Like, you gave us these crappy computers. I'm like, no, I didn't. They're actually pretty good. You need to maintain them and you need to treat them as your own.
Yes, sir.
And that's a big piece of it. I haven't seen. I mean, nothing's parallel to what you've been doing. So I can't do it without people like yourself.
Thank you. Well, we appreciate it too, John.
So Some of the awards, to give you an idea, so the Computer World Honors Program actually gave us an honor specifically on giving computers to the community instead of computer labs. We got invited down to DC. Microsoft was there. We had worldwide projects, and basically I was there with my VP and my director in DC next to next to the Capitol, and it was like these worldwide projects we were competing against for an award. Basically, we were given a laureate to go down there. It was a pretty cool event. That was sort of like a tip in our hat. These models of efficiency was basically run a small business within a university that most universities wouldn't consider doing because it's not their core competency. It's not what they do. It's not, in their view, teaching people or doing research. But we do all those things, and then, like, we turn this model into that type of thing. So that was a Models of Efficiency. That's Business Magazine, University Business Magazine. So that was a pretty big award. And then the real one was the EPA. That was the one that kind of kicked it all off in 2009. They learned what we were doing with old technology. In technology, e-waste is a problem. So most of you live in North Philadelphia, and you may not notice it, but now I'm going to talk about it. You're going to notice it more than ever. You ever walk around and you see the guys who scrap and they're looking for things, you're going to see TVs in every empty lot in the city. And it's like, well, why are these TVs there? Why are they broken? Well, they know there's a big ball of copper on the back of the tube. It's called copper yoke, and it works. That's how the TV works. They all want that copper yoke. It's worth $3 or $4. So they'll take the TV off the trash, or they'll take it from somebody's home. They'll break the plastic off the back. They'll break that copper yoke off. They'll take it to the scrapyard and make $3 or $4. But they'll leave the glass there. The glass is leaded glass. Lead is not a good thing for the environment. It's not good for the air. It's not good for the water. It's not good for our health. One of the biggest problems they realized, it's kind of interesting, it comes full circle. In West Philadelphia, there was a doctor who was in basically a largely African-American community in a school there. What they were realizing were the kids in that school were having challenges learning disabilities at a higher rate than any other place in the school. The majority of the students were coming from this government housing project that was close by. What they learned was, the doctor learned, is they happened upon it. It was by mistake. He was testing their blood, and they realized they had lead in their blood, and they had no idea the effects of lead. Well, it turns out they learned that kids were putting things in their mouth. That's what kids do when they're young. They were eating the paint chips on the windowsill. And the paint, because the paint was made with lead. And they made it with lead because it was pliable. It made it last longer. That's how they just made it. They put lead in it. They put it in gasoline. They put it in paint. The kids were eating it, and this doctor kind of tripped upon it, and he basically changed, the future of the world on, like, taking lead out of things, because he was, thought there was a correlation. Like, why are these students at a higher rate having higher learning disabilities and not overcoming them? And it was really interesting. The story's pretty crazy. And he just happened to be in the right place at the right time and asked the right questions to figure out these things. So moving forward, they're like, we need to take lead out of things. So we still use lead in a lot of different things. It's in the computers. And, like, if we throw these things in landfills or we leave them in our lots and people break the glass, somebody grow plants there, and community gardens are a big deal right now. There's a bunch of lead glass in there, and it leaches into the soil, and now the lead is in the plants, and we're eating that stuff. It's not good. Mm-hmm. So it's a concern that people are dumping these TVs all over the community. If you see them, you really need to report it and get people to clean them up. The city tries as fast as they can, but anytime in your own community, if you want to get rid of electronics or you want to get rid of TVs, anywhere where you buy them, like Best Buy or the Goodwill, they'll take these things. And you really want to take them. The city's not supposed to put them in the back of their trucks. And that's why when they're picking up trash, that's why they leave them on the side of the road. But they don't have an alternative solution. So if you ever see these things or you're getting rid of things yourself, you really want to take it to a recycling center, which is free. Or find somebody at a collection event who will take it, like the Phillies or some other thing. Because that has a huge impact on your community. And you're like, oh, I don't own that lot, but, like, that's where you live, that's your home. Like, who wants to see a bunch of trash? Like, in lots where your kids are going to play, or, like, you're running around, people get hurt. And that's what our job is, to make sure Temple stuff gets taken care of. And it's not at our dock, somebody takes it, breaks off what they want, and throws the rest of the lot. You know what I mean? So that's what we're here to do. It's the only reason why I have a job, because the state said you need to take care of your stuff. And I turned it into an entire operation. There are the three things, and EPA basically recognized us for carbon reduction. What they figured out is, they said, to build a new computer, which comes from components all around the world, China, Malaysia, all these things are made all everywhere else, maybe assembled in Mexico. and then shipped over here. It takes a lot of energy to do that. You have to truck it and put it on boats, put it on planes, and it's a carbon footprint, they call it. Like, and carbon is a big deal right now. They're dealing with climate change, and they're saying we need to reduce our carbon footprint. We need to reduce the amount of carbon we're putting into the air, and we're burning gasoline to do all these things. It's making the air smoggier, which keeps energy in when the sun comes in, and it makes the earth warmer, and they think it's going to cause more problems. It's going to have more droughts, and they think it's going to cause more hurricanes. And it's just going to disrupt things that we're used to. It's going to change it. So in order to reduce that, we need to do different things. So what they figured out is if we refurbish a computer and we get more life out of it, another 5 years, somebody didn't have to buy a new computer and use that whole carbon footprint it took to build that new computer and bring it here. If we get another 3-4 years out of it, we saved a whole generation of computers that we didn't have to buy brand new and use all that carbon energy. And they calculated that at a scale that we never even thought was possible. And they said, you saved this much carbon in the atmosphere by refurbishing these 2,000 computers. And basically we use that as a model now when we do reporting on our reduction of putting things into a landfill, which is pretty amazing. We never really thought about it from that angle, and they did. It's been pretty cool. So that goes into our overall carbon reduction at the university. Temple's unique. We get to have people come in on mass transit. Not everybody has to drive. We have a big bike culture here. We're trying to get bike lanes up and down. Now there's bike shares in Philadelphia. We advocated for that along with the other people. And the more we can do to not drive cars, the more we can do ride our bike and be healthier in no sense, the cleaner the air is going to be and less pollution there's around. And the more money we save because we're not buying gasoline, we're not buying insurance, we're not buying a car. You know, and it helps you have more money in your pocket to spend on things that you want to do. It could be fresh food, or it could be vacation, or whatever you want to do.
You know, effectively, I hate to break your train of thought. You know, it's a beautiful thing for communities to inculcate into the community the same things that you're talking about, that we all have a responsibility to participate, advance, but participate in a healthy way.
Right.
And when we compare notes and we start to embrace these things, we do make things better for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the fact that you have a
good
pool,
stuff.
to have a pool in your backyard, you know, behind the center is amazing. Like, it's expensive to get a pool. There's not a lot of funding for it, but like, pool exercise, swimming is one of the best cardiovascular things you can ever do to your body because you're using every possible muscle to float, to breathe, to do all these things. If you just spend time in the pool swimming, it's pretty amazing the effect it is on your body, cardiovascular, and like that means healthier. It means you breathe better, you can, you can last better, you can walk longer, and those types of things. Healthier lifestyle means less you need to rely on medicine, less you got to go to the doctors, less you got to go to the hospital, emergency room. So use those resources as much as possible. If you don't swim, learn how to swim.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. It's one of the the biggest things with people is we're around water, but people don't know how to swim. If you don't know how to swim, then it's a big problem if you're drinking your water, or like the first time you go into a pool or an ocean or a water park. You know what I mean? Like, and that's something simple. It just takes time, exercise, and practice. So that's a really good resource that you should take advantage of if you get a chance.
Excellent.
That's huge. Not a lot of people have that access. So if we go, so this one's with, if it's still here, sometimes they get broken. So this one's with Renovated. He came by. So Lisa Gass, in the Gass family, lives in the Norse homes over here, and they've been involved in the community for a long time. So she's interviewed in here with Renovated. I think I lost my video. You know Miss Gass?
Yeah, she lives on my way.
Oh yeah, you live back here?
I live on Mars.
Oh, do you really? Okay. Yeah, Lisa got a job here at Temple. She works for housekeeping now. Alright, so this is not a good one. So this one was the good news in the morning on Channel 10. They always try to do positive
These are
news.
GX 270s.
It was about a minute and a half, but just kind of give you an idea. This is our center, and you'll see how it's changed over time.
Mm-hmm.
This is back in like 2009. This is about 5-6 years ago.
So when did you start this?
2003.
2003.
Jonathan Latko has stacks of Dell and Apple computers. His shelves are filled with monitors, hard drives, and printers. What looks like the back room of a big box store is Temple University's award-winning computer recycling
This guy right here, he's a
center.
state trooper now.
Our job here is basically
Chris.
refurbishment. Temple University buys thousands of new computers every year for its offices, laboratories, and student centers. When the new comes in, the old are cycled out, but not necessarily
He
thrown
lives in
away.
Japan. He teaches English
Talking
as a
about
second
time
language.
energy savings over time, refurbishing versus just destroying.
Some of the parts are destroyed and those materials recycled, but most computers are checked and refurbished and
He's
made
state trooper.
available to
His hair doesn't look
students
like
and
that.
faculty.
You can buy a computer from me for about $50.
Besides making computers available to Temple students, hundreds have been given away to schools and churches and neighborhood community centers like this one. 14 of Temple University's refurbished computers are put to good use at Norris Homes in North Philadelphia.
I would say colossal asset to the neighborhood because it gives people access to computers and the internet that doesn't have it in their own homes.
So let's give Temple an A. The university has come up with a recycling way to help people expand their minds rather than our landfills.
So that's cool. Like
Good
little
stuff.
bit. That was Lisa there. She's cool. I still see Lisa after
That's great.
pretty good relationship. So that just gives you an idea of kind of like what we're doing and how we're doing it.
Mm-hmm. Good. Good
Any
stuff.
questions so far? All right, so let me show you what we do here.
Yeah.
So you're focused on community groups, churches?
Yeah, it's about to change. So I say that with a caveat because now the provost office and the university upper administration want to strategically figure out how to help, and they think the school district has like the biggest need right now. That could be the biggest impact. So we're in negotiations with the school district.
Oh, okay.
We just did an amazing project at Strawberry Mansion last summer, and also Dunbar. We put 60 computers in over there, 3 in each classroom with big screen TVs. No, Strawberry Mansion we did 35 computers in the lab. Yeah, we did 60 over here in Dunbar.
So that's going to be a focus in.
So it seems like they want to refocus how we do it.
Okay.
Yeah. Historically, we've done business hours. So basically, we collect stuff from all over. We have 2 trucks, a box van and a big truck. We go out and collect things. We were at Center City earlier late last week. We're at Center City. We did a big pickup. We're going to go to Ambler on Thursday to pick up, clean things out. School starts in 2 months. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
This is really the center of data security here. So if you want to pop,
Check this out.
NSA room, national security room. This is where it is. It's just light switches on and off. And it's just millions of them, and billions of them on top of each other. So when it stores information on here, it stores the zeros and ones, light switches that turn on and off. So when it stores that information, it needs to refer to it. If you ever go into a library, how do you know where a book is? We put a turner cartridge in it. These are quality printers. These are, laser jets and things like that. These aren't little inkjets that, go later like these are, you can print lots of different pages. These are bigger, more media stuff. This is all, our parts. So keyboards, mice, power cords, adapters, things like that. They're all tested, ready to roll.
This is another idea. See, so again, in life, those who come up with good ideas that work, you are valuable in our society.
Absolutely.
You see, so we want to encourage you, because you already have ideas. Now is to put them in context so that it could, one, create an economic opportunity for yourself. Because that's all we're all trying to prepare ourselves so that we can earn a living and raise our families and so forth. But here, a young man, as I listened to him, and I met him before, but today, like he said, Mr. Ricardo said, coming down here puts a whole nother point of view as to what's really going on, and I'm really impressed, Jonathan.
Me too.
And again, I can see your openness to new ideas and new ways of doing things, and that's what makes our world better. You see, and I'm just encouraging you young people to come up with new ideas that can help improve our community, help people solve their problems. Then you'll become very important to all of us. I mean, you already are, because I can see the intelligence popping all out your heads, and I know you guys are getting something out of this trip as well, because I know I did.
Me too.
It's all done online.
Yeah.
You think you're going to come to school here, which is a great place to go to school, it's all online. If you're not comfortable typing and you can't type fast, start practicing. I don't care if you're just sitting on the keyboard and you're typing random letters or you're writing emails. You want to be able to type efficiently, well, proper grammar. It's going to save you a ton of time, because if you're focusing more on your grammar and you're worried about that, you don't have time to get your content together. And school's moving quick. You know,
That's
I
right.
mean, people are on to the next subject. You're being taught something, told something, and you're moving on to the next subject. You need to absorb it. It's a quick world. So you have an opportunity to use your time. If you're in the lab and nobody's around and you're the mentor, like, make sure you're doing something productive for yourself. If other students are coming in or other people in the community, and it's like, you know, the second graders are coming in and they're going to use a certain software, you want to be familiar with it. So when they ask you a question, you can answer the question and help them along, because the minute it doesn't work, that's their mentality, is it doesn't work. I'm not going back to there. And it's like, well, try the next one. No, it doesn't work, you know, and like people kind of get that in their head and they stick with it and they use it as a crutch. Well, it didn't work last time. Well, I fixed it. You can tell them, I personally fixed it. I got the answer, I fixed it, I want you to try it again. And then they'll build trust in you, you know what I mean? They'll work with you, and they'll, if they build trust in you, they'll respect you a little bit more in the lab, and they're not going to do things they're not supposed to be doing. They don't know how much you know and you don't know, you know what I mean? So you really want to try to help them as much as possible, and you'll learn a ton from that. I teach in the school business, I teach in marketing, I teach in information systems. I learn more from the students every semester than what I could even share with them, because things are changing so quick, and I don't have time to be around it all the time. So, you know, you have to, it's a two-way street, no matter how old somebody is or how young they are, or, where they're from, what you think about them, because they speak with a funny accent. It doesn't matter.
That's right.
People have their own ways of learning, and you know, everybody has something to contribute, so you really need to think about it that way. And for everything we do here, these aren't all my ideas. Like, I have students, I invite students, I have 2 full-time people. Like, I could have just sat in my desk job 15 years ago and still be sitting at that same desk job today. But I was like, that's not me. I'm not going to sit in a desk job and do that. Like, I want to get out and I make this thing happen. I got my hands dirty. I did it myself. I learned how to do it, and then I brought people in, taught them how to do it, and just kept expanding it from that way.
Did you have to put in a lot of time?
In the beginning, I was working every day, 10 hours a day, and like wasn't being paid for it. Like, I'll be honest with you.
Hear that?
Like, I had to prove that I needed somebody and over-prove that I needed somebody, that I could pay somebody and do it myself, and say I can't do it myself anymore. I need somebody else, before they would let me bring somebody else in. And I sacrificed that time. And now I'm getting older and I have children. You know, I just manage that now, and I have somebody else to do that for me. And, you know, we just try to keep the ideas coming and keep people incorporating their ideas and their thoughts. And I don't have all the answers, never will. We get our answers from everybody else, and, you know, and really try to work together and collaborate. And that's what we try to do. So.
That's right.
Excellent.
And you have to have an
So this thing.
Yeah, it's doing pretty much a lot of stuff.
So they started talking college about.
Yeah.
So you going to do visits, or they organize?
In middle school, I did business to colleges too, master.
Okay.
I'm trying to further back to master. I think they got more opportunities.
Okay. That's pretty cool. How about anybody else? Anybody know where they want to go?
I go to engineering, so
You do? Okay.
yeah, I do want to go to school with technology and
Yeah.
engineering.
Traxel's really big in engineering. Kevin's got a really big engineering program. We're going to do engineering building. When we look out here, we'll look out and show you the building. Brand new.
People from they come to our school and like they do the college classes when you get to like 11th and 12th,
Yeah.
and they come here.
Yeah, do them, take them all. Learn. They offer them, take them.
Tell them what you're doing in your class, in your school now, what you're learning how to do.
10th grade, well, we did computer science
Okay.
for freshman year, and I'm going to Java Honors next year.
Okay. That's pretty cool. Anybody else closer? Anybody, you're all 10th, 11th grade? Or? You're 11th? What about you? Plan on going to school? Any ideas yet? I mean, you guys start thinking about this stuff now.
Yeah, you certainly do.
Now's the time.
That's right.
You wait till your senior year, it's too late. So where do you think you're going to go first? Would you go to community college first? Philadelphia Community College? No? If you're going to give me a solid answer like that, you can start thinking about college right now.
He told
it's a
you
2-year
right.
process.
That's right.
It takes a long time.
That's right.
Where do you think you want to go? You leave now? What do you want to be? What do you want to do?
Well, you know, why you think we brought you here today? We're trying to put some emphasis and really get y'all to focus, because y'all got to focus on this stuff right now.
Yeah, now's the time, man. Start. I mean, you don't have to, commit to a full-time job right now, but if you're going to think about going to college, I mean, this is the time you begin to kind of figure all that out. The best thing to do is just start visiting. Go to visits. We have a welcome center downstairs. We'll stop by before we leave. You want to go to campus visits and just be familiar with the place and see what it's like. See what kind of things do they offer there. Is it a place that you would consider going? Sometimes Drexel for people is just too city urban. It's downtown. Others love it. Sometimes Temple is not what people want on there. We live in a concentrated area with a lot of colleges and universities and a lot of opportunity. Not a lot of places have as many schools and colleges around as we do in Philadelphia. So, it's easy to get a lot of visits and pretty close to campus.
I came here for a year. Music, right? Yeah.
Yeah, really good music program.
Loved it.
Yeah, it's cool.
I'll come with y'all whenever y'all want to come. Serious.
Yeah, just
soon as you
organize
can.
it, yeah.
Soon as you can.
My father graduated from Temple University. But this is an interesting story. I went to my father's high school graduation. I was in the 8th grade, but my father got his high school diploma at Temple University High School. And then he went on and got his bachelor's degree and became a school teacher.
That's pretty cool.
Temple University High School?
Yeah, they had a high school. Years ago, Temple University had a high school.
Huh.
And my father attended the high school. I remember being in the 8th grade, watching my father get his high school diploma. And then he went on to get his bachelor's degree here at Temple University.
That's pretty cool. What did he say?
He's secondary education.
Okay.
And he became a school teacher here in Philadelphia School District.
Very good job. All right, let's check out the computer lab.
Excellent.
Love it. It's interesting. Temple, at the time when Temple was thinking about building this, schools like Villanova were bringing freshmen in and giving them all laptops. Right? They have a few thousand students. We had 5,000 new students come in. And we can't handle 5,000 laptops. Like, we just can't handle it. And then there's like 40,000 of every student coming on. So they said, we're going to build a computer lab. And at the time, this is when technology was becoming mobile, and everybody laughed at Temple. They're like, nobody's going to use a computer lab. That's ridiculous. That's a crazy concept. Well, it's history now, because now universities are following the model and they're buying big properties to put huge computer labs in, and it's basically replacing the library. So this is like the new library concept.
Yeah.
And they're actually going to build a new library on Temple's campus and nix that one down and put more technology into it than they ever have before.
Smart.
Because it's becoming such a popular thing. So during finals, end of the school year, during midterms, 3 a.m., you cannot find a seat in this place. And you're going to see how big it is as we walk through it. It's just that packed. People waiting to get in here. They're sitting in the lounge here. Like, school's not in session right now. We're going to be in session in 2 weeks. It's a different world. It's crazy how much this place gets used. 24.
This whole nother world. This is so.
Basically, this is our video editing lab. So every student has access to this. You don't have to be a filmmaker. It's just a complete sound room back then. All Mac lab here. There's a multimedia room. This is like the new video. All video, all sound. So basically, it's all, it's like a channel 6 view.
Wow. Jonathan, I'm like, man. Here we go. It is time to go. We're going downstairs. Y'all look like y'all don't really want to leave, is what it looks like to me. All right, I get y'all from behind there. Y'all ready?
Because you had to pay for it. Yo, I gonna put my phone on 80. Where at? Look.
Dickinson College, Carlisle. It's kind of Harrisburg. Is that where you were? Yeah, Harrisburg. Oh, wow. That's crazy. That's even crazier.
Congress passed the law that
I thought there was second half. So it might be Max. We walk past. We walk through this.
This touchscreen?
Yeah, it's all over here. Right.
That's what 7-Eleven is.
So that one's closed. Yeah, that one's closed. That one's closed.
All green's closed.
No, these sections are closed. It's not saying. That's why. Yeah, the quiet room.
Okay. Well, could you round this off for us, Jonathan, in terms of we just got finished the tour. Can you?
I just want to thank you guys for coming out to Temple and visiting us at the recycling center and checking out the computer lab on the second floor. Where we can help out with the computer lab, and if there's anything else we can do, let us know.
And what do y'all have to say to Mr. Jonathan Latko for coming here and taking us on this nice tour?
Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir.
No problem.
2, 3.
We're at Temple University Tech Center. Yay!
Thank you. Ooh. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How y'all doing? I'm following y'all. How you doing? It won't video.
You lying.
I'm trying to video, but
no.
something wrong with the button. Huh? Something's wrong. I'm serious. The button is not. Can y'all help me out with this button? Y'all can't help me out even a little bit? What you say?
If there's something wrong with it, why you recording?
No, huh? Because I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to get y'all to pay attention.
I'm trying to record this.
What you say? Well,
Can you tell me what you gonna say?
good. 1, 2, 3.
My name is Jamira Kumari. This event is sponsored.
Don't even drop my stuff.
1, 2, 3.
My name is Jamira Kumari. This event is sponsored by the Urban Coalition.
On camera anyway. Are you ready?
Okay, fine.
1,
Get over with.
2, 3. Say your name.
Nice, stand up.
1, 2.
Wait.
1, 2, 3.
My name is Kason Wilson, and this event is sponsored by the Urban Coalition.
2, 3.
My name is Kason Wilson, and this event is sponsored by the Urban Coalition. See,
Take.
on.
Oh, you want to do it again? On 3. 1, 2, 3.
My name is Kason Wilson, and this event is sponsored by the Urban Coalition.
Thank you.
I'm not doing it right now.
I don't know what I'm doing.
1, 2, 3.
My name is Siani Hart. My name is Sierra Hart. And this event is sponsored by Urban.
1, 2, 3.
My name is Siani Hart. My name is Sierra Hart. And this event is sponsored by Urban Coalition.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
My name is Siani Hart. My name is Sierra Hart. And this event is sponsored by Urban Coalition. And it's still on here.
That's because you said something. Wait up.
We got the teachers.
Let me take this off. Stop reading it. Like, more in here. Because we can really show them. Why you not wanting to turn? Oh, you start recording. There you go.
Organization, yeah, exactly. Well, I should say block off the but you know, they clearly taking priorities. Yeah, and so now, you know, they the rest of the great around right now to get. Yeah, so I was going to say, why don't we just have
and enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. Thank you. Everyone who is out looking, all of those who are looking. I start like in May or June feeling really concerned about whether or not we're going to be able to find enough jobs for everybody, and we never find enough. And we're committed to finding more. But it's great to see all of you who really had an opportunity. And I'm going to tell you the stories that I heard from this morning from employers and from many of you were just phenomenal. You guys are really have a lot to be proud of. So again, give yourselves a big hand. My name is Charmaine Matlock Turner. For those who don't know me, I'm the CEO and the president of the Urban Affairs Coalition. That name you sort of see up there. I'm the person in charge, and I'm proud to be the president. But I work with a phenomenal team of people. We have more than 60 programs under the coalition, more than 350 employees. And they're the ones who really get all of the work done on the ground. So I'm proud to be a part of that wonderful team. I know that many of you got your first job through this program. So how many people, this is the first year that you've worked with us as a part of the Work Ready program? All right, terrific. Anybody, is there anyone who's been here, this is your second year? Okay, very good. What about third year? Okay, and fourth year? And I know we have some college students who've also been here with us from high school and are now monitors. I was talking to many of them yesterday. They were saying, wow, it feels a little strange for someone to call me Mr. something or other. So we really are proud to have you with us. And that's one of the things that we really care about in this program. We want you to be able to have a job from the time that you enter high school and to the time you leave high school. We don't want you to have to be in a lottery. We don't want you to have to wait. We want you to have a job, and we want every young person who wants a job to be able to have one. So I hope that you'll work with me to make it happen. Talk up this program, tell other people about how important it is to you so that we can make sure that we have a job for all 18,000 young people in the city of Philadelphia who want to work. Will you do that for me? All right. I know I look kind of old. It's like the gray hair and stuff. Does that sort of show? But I do remember my first job. I was 12 years old. For the summer, I was staying with my grandparents in Virginia. And my grandfather was the foreman of a peach picking crew. Does anybody know what a peach picking crew is? All right, so we've had a few peach pickers here. And so I said, you know, I want to sign up, I want to work. And so he said, okay, I'll let you work. But you've got to follow the rules. You've got to be just like everyone else. Just because you're my granddaughter, you're not going to get any special treatment. So I said, okay. So I got out there. I was really excited. The guys were really cute. I thought this is a really great idea. And so I started picking the peaches. And so I would like pick one and eat 3. And then I'd pick 2 and eat 3 more. And by lunchtime, I was sick as a dog. So I went and laid under my grandfather's truck. And I was like, oh, Grandpa, I feel really bad. He said, gal, get up from under there. If you don't get back out there and start picking those peaches and stop eating the peaches, you're going to be fired. Fired? Well, needless to say, I got up. I went out and I picked peaches, and I have to tell you, I don't think I ate a peach until I was 18. So I do remember my first job, and the lesson that it taught me was that you can make a mistake. If you're lucky, somebody will give you a second chance, but make really good use of that second chance. So I worked that entire summer, made my big check of $10, went to 52nd and Chestnut and bought my penny loafers from York's. So I had a good time. I hope that you had a more positive experience than I did with my first job. But I do hope that you learned something along the way, even if you made some mistakes. We all believe in you. We know how important it is for people to believe that you can be successful, and then for you to have the opportunity to do it. So congratulations. I want you to enjoy the rest of your summer. I want you to take a little bit of time off. I want you to be careful with the money, the big checks that you guys got. Be careful with that money. save some, spend some, as we say. And really, though, tell others how important this program is so that you can be here next summer and so that we can be here as well. Before I sort of leave the stage, though, I have to ask everyone who was working as a part of the UAC Work Ready program, please either stand up or raise your hand so we can say thank you to you. All of our college monitors, all of our teachers, all of our staff, all of our worksite coordinators, all of our employers, anybody